CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter. Bill, let's begin with that sequence that we just saw, or the end of that final minute. So many things happened, a lot of drama in the final seconds there. What was your top takeaway from the final minute of Game 4?
There's that Warriors defense. It's really been the key and the secret catalyst to all those championships coming to the forefront at the end of the game, Paul. You don't want De'Aaron Fox, who was such an incredible force in this game, has had such a year, clutch player of the year, taking that final shot. Steph Curry just a little bit hurries him. Draymond Green is there to meet him when he tries to drive toward the basket. They put the ball in somebody else's hands. Harrison Barnes, the guy that can't hit the shot. Really nice defense by that Warriors team. And just a reminder, and I think the Kings can win the series. Either of these teams can, but if Sacramento's going to do it, it is not going to be easy, and it is going to be stressful.
In Sacramento, let's back up here a little bit. They were leading by 4 at halftime. Heading into the fourth, Golden State was up by 10. Where was Golden State better that made the biggest difference in the second half?
You know, I think it was just playing team basketball and doing the things that they do. And I mean, and I'm sure you're going to get to this. They were the dominant team until Steph Curry called a timeout he didn't have, which is such a bizarre thing for Steph to do. You got contributions from Klay Thompson. You got contributions from Jordan Poole. Draymond Green was exceptional. He didn't quite get that triple-double, but I think he played 31 minutes is what it amounted to, Paul, off the bench. And we saw Steph Curry do what he always does, which is hit ridiculous shots, ridiculous threes, attack the rim. I mean, the guy is such a historically great player. This is just Warriors basketball, playing at the highest levels under the mightiest of pressure in the comforts of their own building and forcing another team to just not quite have enough to get it done.
Hey, Bill, for those who didn't see it, I didn't want to lead with it because the Warriors won the right to talk about the game and how they played to win it. But inside that final minute, for everyone who did not see the moment live, what happened with the timeout with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr there toward the end?
The world got turned upside down. I saw something in my own eyes, Paul, I thought was impossible. Shades of Chris Webber. So you've got the Warriors are up 5 points. There's less than a minute left in the game. Steph Curry's got the ball. He's bringing the ball up the court. There's a little bit of defensive pressure before he's crossed the half-court line, and he calls a timeout that he does not have. You see Steve Kerr kind of scream, no. That is a technical foul. I've never seen this in the NBA. It turns out technical foul. I learned something today. And possession goes to the Kings. Malik Monk, who's a great free throw shooter, hits the shot. If I remember right, De'Aaron Fox hits a three-point shot. And all of a sudden, what felt like the game going to the Warriors was suddenly game on from a very uncharacteristic mistake by Stephen Curry.
Yeah, the regrettable moment there for Curry and the Warriors. But he did have the most points for the winning team, 32. Do you think in the end he was the most important player in that Game 4?
There's no doubt. And we've been talking about this, Paul, for years, but it's worth saying again because it was a critical part of this game. He's got the most points, but he also just creates so much gravity. I mean, you have to literally get on him the moment he crosses that half-court line. You've got to double him. The Warriors, if I remember right, score more points than any other team off screen, so you're constantly moving to try to just be where he is and get a body on him, which means Klay Thompson. I mean, really, I could name every guy on that Warriors roster are going to have space either from the three-point line or as they cut to the basket because they're always moving. So, yeah, Steph Curry, the most important player because of the points that he scored, but also he's the guy that makes everything go for this offense and makes the shot so much easier for every single guy that's lucky enough to call him a teammate.
Let's zoom out a little bit and pull away from this one game and think about the entire series. Last week, you and I talked after the Kings had just gone up 2-0. Now that it's 2-2, besides venue within the last few days, what changed for the Warriors in these last 2 games?
I think, honestly, I think that is what changed. And I've been trying to, we did discuss this, get my mind around how abysmal this Warriors team can be on the road and how great they can be at home. And that's just the pattern that is continued. They were incredible in Game 3 without Draymond Green. This was obviously much more of a battle. But these are the champions. They're literally the defending champions. They've won 4 NBA championships. They have a healthy team now. And if Sacramento's going to win this thing, it's not going to be easy. I'll just remind people, this is a Warriors team. I know it's a few years ago that were down in the conference finals to Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder 3-1, and they won that series and should have won an NBA championship. but Draymond missed a key game there as well against the Cavs. So this isn't going to be easy, and it was always going to be a reality that the Warriors are going to find a way to make these games close or win these games. They've won them. They play better defense at home for whatever reason, and obviously we know in the NBA that role players, even on teams like the Warriors, shoot better at home than they do the road. That's been exacerbated really by what the Warriors have struggled to do when they've been on the road. So you saw a much better offensive team for Golden State. You saw a much better defensive team. But Paul, that's been true all year in this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde reality for this Warriors team when they're at home versus when they leave the Bay.
Bill, as you know very well, that this series has been so much about both teams. It's been about Golden State recently as they've won the last two, including this close one on Sunday. But let's give Sacramento a little bit of time here as we close. They left their hometown with control of this series a few days ago. How do they get it back now in Game 5?
So I think if you're Mike Brown, the message is we're as good as these guys. We're in these games. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Getting Keegan Murray going, rookie, is really helpful because you want as much depth as you can get. Paul, I think the main takeaway from this game and this series for me so far, and this should be the takeaway for these Kings players and the message from the coaching staff, I really think they're good enough to make a conference finals or beyond this year. Obviously, so are the Golden State Warriors. Only one of these teams can advance. That's just the dilemma of the Western Conference this year. But if I'm Sacramento, it's what Mike Brown says every single time he talks to this team, when he's mic'd up, when he talks to the media: go faster and shoot more. They're not going to focus on defense. That's not what they do. Third worst defensive rated team in the NBA. They want to play high pace of play. They want to get a lot of shots. They want to make the team work, the team that's defending them, work to try to stop them. If I'm the Kings and I'm Mike Brown, it's just more of the same. They've been in these games. They can win these games. They can win the series. Don't change what you've been doing. Just keep doing it.
Hey, Bill, as a fan of playoff basketball and exciting basketball of that, don't care too much about either one team or one more than the other. I would just love to see this one go 7 games. So let's hope we're doing this for a little while longer, talking about the Kings and the Warriors. Bill Reiter, thank you very much. And Bill made mention of the fact that the Warriors, the giant difference, we've talked about it quite a bit, between what they've done at home and what they've done on the road. Terrific in San Francisco. And if you want to say below average, if you want to say poor, that certainly fits. We'll see what happens in Game 5.